Well, hello there, hello there, hello there, hello there. It is yours truly. I'm here and I am back with another video. So I was sitting here and I wasn't gonna record another video, but I have a lot I want to say. Like, I was just like, Jesus Lord, it's just been so much on the mind. And sitting here on a rainy Sunday, it's like, why not? Like, it's not like I'm gonna go outside or anything. So the title of the video is called Shackles. And this might be controversial in some aspects. And I'm okay with that. I feel like that's life. Life is controversial. There are going to be things that are said that make you uncomfortable. People are going to say things that, you know, you may not agree with. And that's okay. I'm dealing with that right now in these classes that I have to take, that there are things that are said that I don't agree with, and that I'll never agree with. And I just have to find a way to, I'm not really going to find a way. It's like my ears bleed every time I go in that class. I can't even deal. But that's not what this video is about. As I was taking a walk this morning, I had something on my mind. It was something I was thinking about as I self-reflect on myself, and I review my own actions. Because as much as I want to tell people, like, you should be doing this and doing that, I feel like it's very imperative as a teacher, as an educator, as a person who aspires to be better, that you are actively working on yourself. And that you're always willing to, like, self-evaluate and say, hey, could I have done that better? Could I have said that differently? Can I show up in a more authentic way? And so as I was walking, I had started to think, like, I think the one thing in this life that all of us want, no matter who you are, where you're from, what you look like, what your sexual orientation is, religious background, any of the things, we all want acceptance. I think we want to be accepted for who we are, what we bring to the table, where we come from, how we speak, our race, even to be accepted for our shortcomings, our mistakes, our failures, our candid moments, anything that you can think of. I think we all as human beings just want acceptance. And I think acceptance almost goes along the line of forgiveness. And I will tell you why. As I was walking, I was thinking to myself, we're all people at the end of the day. And even though that we all have different paths and different walks, and as I say this, I relate this to my current situation of where I live and the things I've gone through dealing with homelessness and living in this population and being very, very different, no matter whether it was in California or here in Texas. And it just kind of opened my eyes to myself a lot. And I think it also helped me to know that whenever I do get on my feet and become wealthy, which I know I will be, I never planned on, I'm always humble though. I've never planned on, even when I haven't had things, I've always given to people. So I never felt like I was too much in my ego. But I also had to see it from a different perspective that, like, okay, when I got here to Houston, right, it was just things that I was seeing, and I'm not. I mean, nothing is more mortifying than California. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's. If you want terror, go to California. So I kind of wasn't really surprised, but I had to just stop. Because even if you feel a certain type of way about certain things, as I said, at the end of the day, people want acceptance, even if they are different. Even if they're not like you, even if they have learning disabilities, even if they have 7 children, even if they are illegal immigrants, people want to be accepted. And being a person who was a Black girl who grew up in the suburbs and went to all white schools, being growing up as an only child, growing up somebody who is goofy, very quirky, very eccentric, probably is not the status quo, not the typical Black girl that you may meet from around the way. Somebody that talks differently, that has had a different life experience than most of the people that I have met. But when I get around people or the traditional Black folks, even my family, never been accepted. Never been accepted. I always wanted to go to like a HBCU, because that's what you do. You hang with your own kind, your own people, right? Nah. And so I had to kind of migrate and deal with, I guess, whoever was willing to deal with me. So I always kind of gravitated to like other races of people because they just seem accepting. Maybe because they come from places where they had to deal with like genocide and like real deal issues, so they don't feel the need. Sometimes when you've been through things, real hard stuff, you don't really have the space in your mind or in your thinking for certain things anymore, because you understand what pain really means. And how, if your behavior and your thought processes and your actions towards other people, how it can affect them and create different situations in their life. So I just had to step back and just look at myself, and I have a right to be how I am because of the things that I have experienced. But I also know that where God is taking me, I probably am going to have to help people of a variety of backgrounds. And so the very people that you may shun or you may stay away from, or I don't go to that side of town, or I don't talk to those type of people, may be the very people that you're called to serve. And you're annoyed. And you're irritated. And you don't want to be here. And you're ready to go. And you're ready to pack your bags and leave every chance you get. But I thought you wanted acceptance. They want acceptance too. They want to come to the party too. Do you think they don't want nice things? They may not know how to get there. They may not know that they're worthy of it. But the very things that we expect from other people, we have to be willing to give. No, it's not right. It's not okay what people do to you. I'm not making excuses for people's behavior. But being the person with the higher perspective, you always have to be willing to check in with yourself and say, am I living up to my own greatness? Am I meeting my own standards and expectations? As much as I want to place them on other people, am I doing my part? Am I doing enough? Am I showing up as my best? And it's hard. That's the real part about being a leader. It's not just telling other people what to do. Like, are you really that girl? Or is it just something to say? the thumbnail is from the movie Django, and it is Leonardo DiCaprio and Samuel L. Jackson. And something that I've always said is that there is a thin line between the oppressed and being the oppressor. And a lot of times, people that have gone through an immense amount of pain or struggle or strife or injustice in this life, a lot of times when they rise up and they find their voice and they find their power, they tend to oppress people. And sometimes that is the very people that have caused that pain, that strife, that's discomfort or injustice in their life. So it's just as if you have prejudices against certain races of people for whatever reason, so you go into the inner city and you purposely misguide people or give false information just to purposely hold people back because you have the power now. So I felt oppressed all my life, so now I can go into these situations and reap, and actually feel like I'm doing something. Like you want the power back that you lost. Wherever you felt compromised, wherever you felt belittled, demeaned, bullied, you want the power back that you lost. So you feel like oppressing the same people that took it from you is going to give it. You no, and you're wrong. Because the people that you're oppressing now had nothing to do with your situation. It's not their fault. One black person shouldn't have to suffer for a whole group of black people shouldn't have to suffer for what one black person did to you. If one black person or two black people ran into your store and robbed you, that does not identify the entire race. That's not all of us. But a lot of times, like I say, these situations happen and we usually have to suffer behind the actions of 1, 2, 3 people. I give you another example. Here lately, we've seen a lot of smash and dash where they run into these luxury stores, stealing all of the, goods, just running amok. It's not just luxury stores. It's like Walmart, Target. So now, whenever I go shopping, it is a pain. It is painful to go shopping because everything is locked up now. So all of the skincare, all of the lotion, all of the the simple cheap things that you should be able to just walk up and get, you can't get anymore. Because everybody was online like, girl, yeah, steal it, do it. It's okay, just take it. It don't even matter. Yeah, that's why inflation is high. We're all suffering. That's why food is high. All these, okay. Keep encouraging the foolishness. Because we all got to pay for it. Nothing is free in this life, people. Nothing is free in this life. So if you really believe in your mind that the things that people are doing, because things are not going their way, let's just call a thing a thing. Life isn't going your way, so you feel justified in creating hell and havoc upon the earth because life isn't going your way. It's everybody's fault. Everybody gets served. But I wasn't there. Do I even know you? Well, why am I in poverty, honey? For your foolishness. Like I don't understand. But that is the world that we live in, that we reward bad behavior. We constantly glorify negativity. Even for me, like with my YouTube channel, I realized that if you are offering like really sound advice, like really practical information, not karmic stuff, especially in the spiritual community, because I feel like most of the people that's getting views is because they talk about the same thing. It's karmic information. Fraud, inheritance, family, theft, lies. It's like a telenovela, or like Hamlet or Shakespeare on the internet all the time. It is a scandal. It is salaciousness. It is gossip. It is drama. It is abuse. It is betrayal all the time. That's all they talk about. That's all. That's it. And that's why every day, every chance I get to block somebody or block something out, I do it. Because I'm like, I don't want to listen to this mess no more. I don't even care what happened no more. I'm at this place where I don't even care. Like, you know what? Get out of my life. That's how I feel. Just get out of my life. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. I don't need to keep up. I don't know how you do this every day. It's the same thing every day. It's the same cards every day. It's the same people every day. It's just, get out of my life. I'm going back to books. I am going back to books. I need to go back to like VHSs. Like, take me back to the 90s. I don't want to deal with this because this is trash. I don't have the time. But that's just me. The thumbnail is basically a representation of that we usually become what we fear. And so you are so afraid of certain people, places, environments that you don't realize you're becoming that inadvertently. It may be dressed up in a different way. So, say for example, you don't like ghetto and impoverished people. You'll say that they're ghetto. But your attitude is ghetto. How you're treating people and looking down on them, that's pretty lowbrow. It's what you become. You may not necessarily become ghetto or low income. You may still have money, but your energy is low. Your mentality is low. How you feel about people is low. You may have all the gifts, the talent, the abilities, the money, the resource, the access. You may have all the things that they don't have, but your character is low. So be careful. That was a big thing with my mother. Like, she thought like she had all the answers. She thought she knew everything. That's why I always be self-evaluating. Let me go back. Let me check balance, and let me sit down. Let me sit down somewhere. People like, why you always by yourself? Because I'm evaluating. I am in introspection. Because I ain't coming back down here to earth. I'm not doing this. Me and God already had a talk. This is the last go round for me, so we finna get it all right now. I'm not coming back. But Mama Dearest, she perceived her life to be so much better. But when I look at how her life has ended compared to her people around her, you died alone, you died bitter, you died by yourself, you died estranged from your children, you died never living your dreams, you died broken, you died resentful because you held on to all the pain of the past. You never healed. Whereas your siblings, they moved on, they own homes, they got married, even if there was dysfunction or things that may have not been ideal. You thought you were superior, but every time you needed something, nobody was there. Like when you think like every time it was time to move, you didn't never had any help. Whenever you needed something, you was in the hospital, there was nobody there. You gotta look at that type of stuff. You gotta look at who you are and how you show up in the world and how you treat people. Be careful with that shit. Because that person that you over there, this ghetto might be the one that saved your life. That one might be able to tell you, hey, don't go over there. Don't talk to those people. The people that's different from you, that they not formally educated, but they know things that you don't know. So be careful. And that comes from my own upbringing of not like being very sheltered, being a very sheltered person who didn't have a lot of friends, couldn't go a lot of places. I went outside like that. So as an adult, even at 40 years old, there's still a lot of things I don't know. And that's the honest to God truth. I had a ex that I used to deal with. It would tell me all the time, Candice, like, you look at things how you want it to be versus looking at it how it is. And he would say that to me all the time. And that was the same thing he would say to me. It's about, he said, you want me to be how you want me to be, rather than accepting me for who I am. You want to come in and change me. And I do that a lot. It ain't just with people. It's in situations with my little letters. And I want to go in and, it should be this way. And you need to get your organization together. And you need to. And I might even be right. But is that your job? You gotta let people grow and evolve in their own time. And you can't expect people to be like you. You can't expect people like, this is unacceptable. It might be, Candice. It might be. But you gotta meet people where they at. You gotta meet people where they at. It's unfair. It's uncomfortable. You don't like it. I know you don't. But this life is greater than you. As big as you think you are, understand that there are 8 billion other people in the world. Okay? So, I had to realize that I was a bit of what they call an idealist. Because you want things to be ideal. Because a lot of times, like, okay, when you are an only child or grow up as an only child, you see life through your imagination. Because all you can do is imagine a greater life. All you can do is imagine a world of peace and love and prosperity. However, that's not the real reflection of the world. And so your mind constantly gets shattered. Your reality constantly gets shattered when you realize, like, that's not life. That's not real. That's not how it is. How you think it should be. How you have constructed life within your mind is not the reality. And you got to be okay with that. And that people are not necessarily bad because they're different. It's just different than you. That's what makes us human beings. We all have differences. We all have differences. We all fall short. We all are in this thing trying to figure it out. So I had to realize that, and I thought about him when I was having my walk, and I have to be mindful of that because life, it even though I can create and influence change, because that's just me. That's Candice. Like, if I see there is a need or something I feel like could be better, I don't really do it to necessarily change people, but if I can see how this is not effective, or if it's potentially hurting people, or this can make you more money, or this can improve a process, those are the reasons why I do it. But I also have to understand that everybody don't want that. Everybody doesn't like that. And you gotta be okay with that. You gotta be okay with people. Everybody don't want to change. Everybody don't want to be better. Everybody don't want to go to college. Everybody don't want to advance themselves. Some people want to get high and have sex all day. Like that is this life. And I think sometimes we lie to ourselves. even me, like you will create fantasies in your mind of how you want it to go, but it's like, no, like look at it for what they call the rose-colored glasses. No, don't do that. Evaluate it from exactly where it is, how it is, who it is, and make your decisions effectively that way. But just because it's different don't mean it's wrong. So be careful how you treat people, places, and things. Because it may be there more to teach you something more than anything else. So always look for the lesson, even if it's in an uncomfortable situation. If nothing else, it just helps me grow as a person. And hopefully it'll, help somebody else in the process. Sometimes I remember when I went to therapy and my therapist told me, she was like, Candice, there's a lot of gray in this life. I said, I'm very black and white. And she was like, girl, there's a lot of gray. So sometimes we have to deconstruct our thought processes. We have to deconstruct our self-limiting beliefs and things that we feel to be true and these constructs that we hold ourselves to. You have to relax sometimes. And I'm not good with that. I'm not good with a lot of things. I was thinking the other day, like I'm not always the best at like cultivating relationships because I don't like saying goodbye. Because I know everything in this life at some point has to end. So sometimes I don't never really get close to people or really establish relationships because I try to avoid pain. That's just the truth. I don't get too close because, and sometimes we think so highly of ourselves, like as if we don't ever hurt nobody. You always worry about somebody hurting you. Have you ever hurt somebody, girl? Girl, I think you've hurt a couple people's feelings. I think you have. It's so easy for us to be like, oh my God, like they did me so wrong. Everybody, I'm such the victim, and it's like not always, not all the time. A lot of the time, but not all. So it's been a good Sunday. I think it's important to be honest. I think when you're honest with yourself and you can think out loud and tell your truth, it's nothing that you really have to hide from. I don't want to live in a fallacy or be in a space where I hold my own self back. Because I've seen how that's turned out as well. Sometimes our rigid beliefs can really damage our ability to advance. We miss out on great opportunities because of our own stubbornness. So I'm a work in progress. I'm getting there one day at a time. And I guess that will be all for now. I hope this information has been useful to you. I hope you continue to have a great rest of the day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, peace.